our experts today are singer, fashionista Vali, and her cohort. I'm going to call her cohort director, photographer Toni.
Cohort?
Yeah, cohort.
What's a cohort?
I never heard that
I thought you
term.
said whore.
So did
No.
I. I was like, cohort.
Cohort.
I was like,
All
well,
right.
See,
then
okay,
am I a
I'm gonna
whore?
need. First of all, you have degrees in English, so you should know what a cohort
I've
is.
never came across the word
A cohort.
Pilot we like.
Yeah,
Cohort.
pilot.
No. Are you flying something? No.
Yeah,
Yeah, all
spaceship.
the time.
What spaceship?
My
That goes to
station.
Pluto.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not
I
on
believe-
drugs.
I
I don't do
believe-
edibles.
I believe them.
I don't believe them. I don't. But maybe they're right with the Space Force stuff. Maybe they're right. Who knows?
It's happening.
Yeah.
So, real quick, just so our listeners get a better feel of who you are, tell us a little about who you are and where you're from.
I'm from New York City, born and raised, Manhattan in the Bronx. And I'm a
Hey.
singer, a musician, a writer, a lover, a
Nista.
fashion enthusiast. And then this is one of my best friends, Toni.
Hello, everyone.
Darn
Tampa,
dude.
Florida.
Look, everyone
Toni
gets
G.
shy once the radio's going on, but y'all
Yeah,
are not
I
like
don't
this. This is not
Well,
who
it's
they
weird
are.
when you tell me, like, who are you?
Yeah, but we want to know a little from your
course.
mouth because we're
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
get to
yeah.
the root of it.
Right.
We have developed extreme tests.
But it's like when you have to
GBT,
stand
baby.
up in front of the classroom and, like, what's your name? Where are you from?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's
always,
how it
I
works.
always get clammy. I
So
think.
you have practice. So Toni.
Toni G, Tampa, Florida. I'm a photographer, director, and space magica enthusiast.
Yes, amazing.
That's a great way to be.
Yeah.
Let's play the game either or.
Yeah, see, because we
Okay.
want to get to know you a little more better than just giving your titles and where you're from.
Right.
It's like
So
very
these
Tinder.
small, everyday, personal things, that's how the imperfect gentleman get to know our best.
We have
I
rabbits.
guess better.
We have
Okay.
rabbits.
We do.
Lucky and Farah.
You guys are rabbit people.
Yeah.
That's like a step above cat lady. You do realize that. Like look, there's a whole list of how it
I
goes.
like calling him a bunny.
That's a step above rabbit people, by the way. That's like the step above rabbit. Like if you're like, oh, I have bunnies, that's red flag all the way.
Really?
It is, of course.
I have one bunny.
That's how it starts. They breed like rabbits. That's how it works. It starts with one.
So back to the either or. We're going to give you two options, and you must pick one of the two when we ask you a question. Tehran's going to kick it off.
Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Pepsi.
All right.
Pepsi people.
Let's go a little deeper than that. Soda or pop?
Soda.
Pop.
That's the Florida coming out. That's Tampa. That's a little Tampa right there.
Oh, Tampa. I learned a lot about Tampa
That's where it
yesterday.
is.
Yeah.
That's where it is.
4-hour drive.
Pizza or hot dog?
Pizza.
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 Don't say it, Tehran. Don't say it. Little inside
Good friends.
joke.
They're good friends.
Now we know you love rabbits, but if you had to choose between dating a cat lover or a dog lover,
Dog.
Dog.
that was quick.
No one likes cat lovers, George.
I do.
Exactly why they don't
Big
like
cats, though.
them. Like a
think-
tiger. If I owned a lion,
I would be in.
if I just had a lion, I was like, oh yeah, you
So
want to
in.
meet Fluffy?
I'm so in. If you had a lion,
Yup.
I'm in.
Yup,
Yeah.
yup. But then you're gonna have to meet someone in Zimbabwe because I don't, that's something actually they might do in Florida is just have lions.
They do.
They do. People
They
just
definitely
have.
have lions and snakes and alligators and
I'm not-
scratch it.
But do they have ligers?
I do not know what that is.
It's a lion
Don't
and a
ask.
tiger.
Okay.
They
No.
crossbreed them and you get a liger.
That
is-
is
Why?
that is a
not.
true
Pure breed
thing.
all the way.
Yeah, I like.
There's nothing wrong with people who are mixed. I just want to throw that out there. I just want to throw that out there. I just want everyone
Black
to know
and Persian, black and Persian.
that. So, looking into someone's eyes or an amazing kiss.
Looking into someone's eyes.
Both.
You can't pick both. This is why it's a psychological test in torment.
Eyes and then kiss.
Okay, so eyes. Okay, eyes. Both of you said eyes.
Okay. Magical first date with a guy. Would you rather him go for the kiss or not go for the kiss?
Not go for the kiss. It's magical.
I would say go for the kiss if it was that magical. Complete that moment.
Profound. Because I really needed to know that because someone did the race on me.
They did the little take, hey. They did a little TK. Should have went for the kiss, buddy.
Should have went
Shoulda went for the
kiss.
according to Dandu.
Yeah. Magic powers or mutant powers?
Magic powers.
Magic powers.
BFF or just friends?
If you're lucky enough to be able to call someone your best friend, why wouldn't you want that rather than friends? I'll take one best friend over a bunch of friends any day.
I'm going to say ditto. I love that answer.
I appreciate you after all, Tehran.
Please don't speak to me, George.
My
Please
only-
don't speak to me.
Are you
Yeah.
best
But I also
friends?
think it
Yeah.
depends on the person.
We are people that have
That's
a radio
another
show together.
Oh, okay.
We are human beings who have mutual
You're going to
interests.
reduce us to that?
We're mutual interest people.
You
Of
didn't
mutual
go for the
interest.
kiss, George.
We mutual interest people.
But I think that's okay.
It is
I think
okay.
that's okay. If it's like you said, it was a magical date.
But it's either or.
Yeah. No, he said you're on a magical date.
Yup.
Oh, we're back to the
So
kiss.
is-
No,
Yes or not?
we're discussing what happened in George's past, which was a specific situation that happened that he has not let go. He hasn't dropped it, and
I'm
Every now and
over
then
it.
it
I
comes
just
up.
brought it up. I just
This
thought
Sarah?
about it, but I'm over. Sarah.
Ooh, Sarah.
Wow, there was a whole Sarah thing. We
Sarah.
don't say her name, Tony.
Aye.
We
Alright,
don't. Say
Sarah.
He didn't go for the kiss and he didn't get the number.
His phone died. His phone died as it always does. His phone died as it always does. That's the thing. His phone dies as it always does. Okay, meeting for coffee or meeting for tea?
T.
Okay. Tacky or not, when a guy asks for your number and then puts his number in your phone and calls himself.
Hate that.
No, I don't like it. It's intrusive.
That's not an either or.
Yeah, that was just like a statement, but
yeah,
I'm
I'd rather actually give
I was
my
just
number
curious.
or take his number.
I'm just trying to learn.
Text or email?
text.
Oh, I hate both.
I don't even
So
check my
bad with
email.
phone.
I've got.
But text either or.
Guy who wears
64
layers or just a tee?
Wait, what?
Guy who wears layers or just a t-shirt?
I like layers.
Layers.
This is LA,
What do you
y'all.
think, sis?
Why? You think in LA people wear t-shirts?
No, I just think you're wearing a bathrobe right now and I feel inadequate because I'm not layered up.
I wear layers because I'm from the East Coast.
You
And I
have
feel like
layers.
it's an East Coast thing.
On though.
Yeah, this is a layer. My jingles.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little bracelets is a little...
Shout out Gasmin
That's
Ashar. She made this
accessory.
bracelet.
There was a episode of Friends where Chandler had a bracelet, I think, and it was like jingling. Every time he wears bracelets like that, I always
Oh
think
yeah,
of that.
Joey got it for him.
Yeah.
I love that.
It was-
stuff.
yeah, the bracelet. The
Yeah.
bracelet.
Speaking of which, my voice gets compared to Ross from Friends a lot.
So does your personality now that I think of it. Hi, guys.
Did she just call
Ron,
me
do you
slow?
love me?
Yeah, it's no. Ross isn't slow. He's
We're
an anthropology
BFFs.
professor or something.
Yeah, that's
He's not
right.
slow.
Y'all better recognize.
He's just needy.
And thinking a lot before he speaks.
Calculated.
Do you think a lot before you speak, George?
I think Tony's implying that.
Do you think that's what
I'm
George does?
observing.
Do you feel like that's what he does?
Yes.
That's what's up. And you feel like I'm a bit more impulsive?
Yes. But you know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
You think faster.
I think faster.
That was a diss.
That's not.
It was kind of a diss.
It wasn't a diss. If
No,
you
Thank
it's
you. It was a
not.
diss.
Hold on. If you knew me, you would not think that's a diss.
That's
like
not
it's within context. It's
Right.
within context.
Oh,
You-
because I'm part of Mensa and I'm a genius and it's in context
sound like
because I'm
Ross
not
now
an
for sure.
average person.
That was a rough.
He's a Ross. He's a Ross. But okay, so we also want to know, because now we've gotten a better feel of like who you are as people. We always want to know who your celebrity crush is. Like if you have celebrity crush.
And
What is the importance of that?
Because we really want to know why. It's not just because they're hot, but what quality about that crush really moves you?
Tom Hardy.
What about Tom Hardy?
The way she said is because he's really hot.
No, it's not that. He has great lips, but it is his craft and his dedication to his craft. And anyone that
He's very
goes
good.
for it, he is excellent. And when I started to fall in love with him, or Alex Vargas, it's a tie. I've shown you Alex Vargas. But Tom Hardy there's so many different movies that when you watch it, you don't even realize he's in it. And I think that's just brilliant and breathtaking.
Yeah.
to go back.
When you're like not noticed, you're
Right.
the ubiquitous actor. You are the person who blends into the background because no one cares that you're there.
Right.
That's not the best quality. But Tom Hardy does have a star quality, which is why he increasingly increased his roles in movies as it went along. Now, you probably didn't notice him because he was a nobody at the time.
That's not true at all. Peaky Blinders. When I first started watching that show, I didn't catch that it was Tom Hardy because I don't watch things necessarily because someone's in it.
Oh, it was billed as Tom Hardy's show.
It was not. It was a Cillian Murphy show.
No, I know, but they like billed that he was on the show. Like,
No, he's
that
an
was a
old
big
Jewish
thing.
man on the show.
That was a whole thing.
Okay, well.
They Tom Hardy'd him.
Do you feel connected to him spiritually?
Yes.
In what ways?
Because of the love for his craft and the way he singly, like, he's not in social media. He doesn't do all the marketing. He doesn't do the meetings. He doesn't do that. And so there's a kinship there where I just want to be left alone and practice my
And be
craft.
really good.
I
And be
love
really
that.
good.
And
That was a strong
And
reason.
respected.
That's what I
George and I had a conversation about that actually very recently, about being respected in your craft.
I'd rather get jobs from a word of mouth than hired online.
Let
It
me
means
drop
more.
my words of the week, which aren't my words of the week, but in Birdman, my favorite actor, Edward Norton,
25th hour.
said that popularity is a slutty cousin of prestige.
Okay, Ross.
This is George Corey, and these are his words.
Oh, this is Mr. George Corey, and these are my borrowed words of the week.
Okay, we can deal with borrowed words. And your celebrity crush?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Ooh.
Wow, that's original. I've never heard anyone say him.
And
I've never heard, especially girls in LA. They never.
what?
You would just never think he's the one that anyone has a crush on. Like every time I've seen him out or at the club or at one of his parties, I've never seen so many girls just like chase after him ever.
His
you know?
eyes are so piercing.
Not like any other,
He's just
not like
like-
how they do with, other, like Tom Hardy. No one chases after Leonardo DiCaprio.
Are you
That
being
was sarcasm.
No.
That was a
Like,
lot of
I'm
sarcasm.
absolutely being sarcastic.
Clearly,
but I'm
he's a heartthrob.
Yeah, I
So
feel
we need
like
to know
I-
why you love him.
I love him for a couple of reasons. I love what he stands for, aside from being an actor, just how involved he is with the environment. And he has an organization, I Stand With My Pack, that's for extinct animals that are going through extinction. And I just really love that he believes in that. And he always talks about it. He always takes all the opportunities he can to talk about the environment. And I think that's amazing. On top of him being such a good actor. I don't know, since I was younger, I've always just thought he was the best.
You're attracted to his purpose and his demonstration of his purpose.
100%.
Do you like his dad bod or his old bod?
His dad bod?
Dad bod.
He has a
Or
little bit.
old bod?
a
Those
dad-
aren't those the same thing?
It's kind of like this.
His
It's like
body
this.
he used to have.
Dad
Oh,
bod.
it's- oh, I
old
meant
bod. Like dad bod, old bod.
I don't know. I didn't never really looked at his body.
And the reason why I asked is because your main attraction to him is because of his purpose and his demonstration of his purpose. And I wanted to know if the physicality factor changes anything.
well, what I'm attracted to physically is his face and his eyes.
So
more
as
than
long
his
as that's
body.
there,
I'm not
yeah.
like, oh, look at his body in that shot. It's always like his intensity.
Ever said, ooh, look at that body.
Yeah, I just love the intense look he has, or I don't know, he's charismatic. I love him. I think he's great.
That's noble. These
Leonardo-
are great
Who are
reasons.
your
These
celebrity
are great
crushes?
reasons for celebrity crushes.
Idris Elba.
Mine is
You like chocolate?
Yeah. Well, Idris Elba. Oprah.
mine is
Interesting.
Ellen.
That's an interesting
Ellen.
one.
I've always had a thing for Ellen.
He has a thing for Ellen. His Ellen is.
And I down to when I buy Chaco the Chigo, follow him on Instagram. When I buy him clothes, when I buy him beds, I buy the Ellen brand, which is called ED, which is kind of funny, but ED is what I buy.
erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. So I feel like I'm bringing bad karma upon myself every time I buy
You're
the
not going to
ED.
be able to perform in the sheets?
I don't know if I keep
ED
doing this.
sheets?
So, but I love Ellen that much that I'm willing to risk it.
Got it.
Oh my god!
I love that.
What's our
You think
popping or
Ellen would let you
stopping?
get it in?
Our
Ellen, I think look, if Ellen's gonna let any guy get it in,
would be
it's
George.
George. Like I feel like Ellen, out of all the men on the
Actually, I
planet,
can see that.
Yeah.
though. That's so
all the
interesting.
men on the planet
I
who
can
Ellen
really
would
see
say
that.
no to, George would have the best shot of her getting drunk one night and just being like, fuck it. Like, I really
Fast facts about me.
and like aggressively pursue George.
Fast facts about me. My first 3 girlfriends are now all lesbians.
I don't think they're now lesbians, George.
Yeah,
I think when I
maybe
was
they
telling
were
you that they were
attracted to a
lesbians,
different
They were
part of
always
you.
lesbians?
bruh.
Were they masculine or feminine?
One of them beat
Yo,
me
2
up.
of them were butch.
One
okay?
beat me up.
Yo, one used to beat him up regularly.
I was in an
used to
abusive-
beat-
Like Ruby Rose kind of butch? Because she has feminine.
No, they were attractive. Don't
Yeah,
get
yeah,
me.
yeah.
They weren't like guys. They were definitely attractive, but they were masculine attractive. They weren't feminine wiles attractive.
They were stronger than
Yeah,
you.
and Yeshi, if you want to settle this, I don't hit women, but if you want to have a celebrity boxing match,
Now?
Yeshi, you know what I'm saying?
It's done now. She used to be. Look, he used to be like, "Hey, are you George? What happened to your eye?" I tripped. I'd be like, bruh,
Wow.
bruh. He used to come up with excuses. He used to be
the
like,
most,
You had it bad.
the most
he
heartbreaking.
fell down the stairs like 3 times.
The hospital definitely had a red flag.
He never
on
went
you.
to the hospital.
The
That's
most,
a
Emergency
real
care.
sign.
Wait,
Emergency
how
care.
did she hit you?
so
And gave a fake name,
She
just
punched
to
me.
throw that out there.
She punched me. And the thing is, this other dude on the basketball team, not Tehran, named Aaron Pitts, decided to jump in and help, and he got whooped too. Like she whooped him too. And the most
have a picture
heartbreaking
of her?
thing, yeah, I could pull it up. I'm gonna FaceTime her right now. Yo, we gotta settle
Hey,
this.
no,
you want to settle
let's
this
get
issue?
to popping or
Okay,
stopping.
Popping or
What's the
stopping.
popping or stopping
So
this
popping or
week?
stopping.
I really
What
wanna-
that is
Don't bring these things up for him.
is trends that men do, and we want to know if it's hot or not, popping or stopping. So you're going to let us know. And this week's trend is guys walking around wearing AirPods. Is that popping or stopping?
Stopping. Those are the little ear things?
Yeah,
Yep.
the little ear things.
Stopping.
I think it depends.
What does it
Thank you.
depend on?
Thank you.
George will be very happy to hear
Well, it
this.
depends. If you're, I get wanting to have them because there's so many times that I'm like, I wish I had hands free. I wish I wasn't holding my speakerphone.
Well, they're the only ways you can use the for the iPhone or something, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, you could get the Beats by Dre as well because they have the little strap that goes across the back so they don't fall apart,
Still.
whatever. But AirPods, the thing is, a lot of people used to get criticized. The older
lot of
men,
people, him.
they be
He-
having.
I criticized
the
him.
older men. They be having the big Bluetooth, and they look like they're on a business call. Even in church, they
If
just
you're
leave
not
it
on
on.
the phone, then stop.
Yeah, but you
Exactly.
lose them, and that's one thing. When he said that, I was like, that makes sense because I have an Android, I have a Note, so I don't use the iPod, AirPod, P-Pod, whatever. I don't use them, right? So I have my own, I just like headphones, and even then, I don't even use those.
Yeah.
But he's walking around with these little things in his ears, like drooping down, like long dangly earrings.
But the thing
Yeah.
is, I got in a car accident. I have a bad neck, so I can't even do that no more.
That's when I wish,
Don't
when I
talk
see
on
people,
the phone when you're driving.
But that's the best place to talk on the phone.
Speaker,
Yeah.
Bluetooth.
Especially in LA, we're in traffic so much. You have no choice.
Yeah, that's my phone time is my car. I don't
But
actually
you
like
Bluetooth
talking.
it. You wouldn't put it in your ear. I don't want anything in my ear except for my own thoughts.
Well, I usually do speaker because my car is so old. I don't have Bluetooth in my car.
Except for my own.
So you're gonna give it a popping?
That's what I said. It depends because also
No one thinks it's popping. She's just simply saying, I understand
She's
why
willing
it's
to
not
work.
stopping.
Functionality of it, she understands.
I completely understand. What I don't like also though is people that are on them and talk really loud. So it depends on the person. If you're using them for function and you're cool about it, and maybe you just put them in, talk to my mom real quick, oh, that's so sweet. But when you're on the street, yo, bro, let me tell you real quick that last night was popping. I'm like, please take that out and just go over there and be on the phone,
Yeah, people shouldn't even talk on the phone on the street, really. If you're in your car, it's the only time to talk. Unless people are in your car, which makes it even worse.
That's how you get caught lacking, bro.
You get caught up on the phone in the car. What's our question from our listener this week?
So this question came from Rachel May.
Rachel May.
Now I'd like
Me?
our guests
Me?
to sorry.
Rachel May.
May.
Yeah.
Now I'd like our guests to pay close attention to what I'm about to read because this is a real issue that has come up in many relationships and a lot of people need to know the answer, including Rachel. Rachel wrote, "My boyfriend and I broke up. We're trying to get back together, but he won't get back with me because I hooked up with somebody else. My question is, can you be with someone, break up, be with someone else, and they be with someone else, and you two be together again?"
Depends.
Friends. It's like friends.
Yeah, you have to. It can't be someone that they know. As soon as you
someone
fuck
else.
someone that they
Who is
know,
the someone else?
You're done. And that's so real. And especially if
That's
it's someone
yes.
that's come up in the past where you're like,
what I
who's
think.
this? Oh, that's my brother. All right, bitch. Like, that's your brother? Because I have a sister and I'm not trying to fuck her.
Oh my gosh, that makes it
I
very
do. I think it
complicated.
depends on
Yeah.
what
If
the
you know
situation
someone.
was when you were with whoever else it was.
Yeah.
Like, was it someone that you've known?
and being on a
for
break
your-
is different than
Or someone they know. Or someone they
That's
know.
what I'm
That's a
saying.
good
Know,
point.
period.
So
Yeah.
like who was
Because
the
we have a lot of
person?
frenemies that it's like, yeah, we're cool with, but we're not really cool with. And I would get very upset. Like if a
Just
girl slept with
knowing.
another comedian,
yeah.
I'd be like, I never. Like
That'd
you're
be rough.
done. You're
well,
done.
Well, here's the thing. So Rachel said someone else. She didn't say one of her friends. So what do we tell Rachel now? Her boyfriend doesn't want to get back
But
with
you
her.
said they did it too.
No, in her question.
So in her question, she was wondering if both parties did it. In her situation,
It's just her.
it was just her. She got with someone else, and now her boyfriend, Rachel's boyfriend, doesn't want to get back with her because he's saying, "Hey, if you really loved me, why did you
What
get with
would you
someone
do?
else?"
That's just
I'm going to give a very honest answer. That's what I owe
I
the
would
public
put it
and
on
our
her
guests.
harder.
For me, if I were to be involved with you and that were to happen, I feel like it would forever bother me. Every time I'm taking you out, I'll be thinking about why weren't you 1,000% loyal to what this love was? Why wasn't I enough
Why'd you
for
break
you?
up?
This love, I'm just thinking, bitch, why wasn't you loyal to this dick? Like, why?
Saran, that's
That's
disgusting.
what no.
But they
That's what
broke
most
up.
Have
men
some
would
respect.
be thinking.
But that's
though. It's
real
a
shit.
physical
That's
thing.
when we're talking about,
It's a
let's be
physical,
honest,
Like they
that's-
touched my
don't
property.
know.
Like, yeah, 100%.
That's what
I
it
would
is.
feel like that. I don't care if that's right or not right to feel. We're talking
I
about
disagree.
feelings. There are no right or wrong feelings.
And I think it's easier when you're first dating someone, you're not so concerned about the past because there's no implication of you involved in it. So whether they had different partners, whatever, that's the cool thing about meeting new people. You have the opportunity to start at a clean slate.
There's a time thing too.
And
How
there
long
is a time
they've been
factor. And then I
apart
have
and
to
who it
ask
was.
myself too, hey, even if I want this person back, why didn't it work out in the first place?
I think it depends on who they slept with for real. Because if it's someone that you don't even know or anything and you guys have a bond and you are meant to be together, it's fine. Like
Wouldn't
figure it out.
that, so let me ask you, wouldn't that hurt you? No?
If I decide to be in a relationship with you, you're my best friend. And I feel like otherwise I'm not in a relationship with you. We're just hooking up. But if I say like you're my man, it means that it's beyond sex. It's beyond like all that shit.
Yeah.
You're my homie.
Yeah.
Which means I could tell you, look.
Is it
This
weird
happened.
that
This
I
happened?
just got
Yeah,
goosebumps?
or you tell me, yo, this happened.
Right. Yeah.
And if we're friends, like we should be if we're in
Yeah.
a
You got to
relationship.
consider what he actually thinks
That's
of her.
real.
You
That's
know,
real.
But if you were real friends,
That's
you wouldn't have
real.
done that shit in the first place.
We
And
wouldn't have
that's the
broken
realest
up in
shit
the
ever.
first place
No,
then.
because people break up. Life happens.
Right.
Fights happen. Egos happen. What shouldn't have happened is you go off and meander.
that's not
meander.
true. Sex is different than a
And it
relationship.
depends on
though.
how. No, listen. When you're in that situation, you already know what it is.
Right.
So this is, and
but
this
that's
is what
I
girls.
mean. It's like sensitive to the situation.
This is what girls don't understand. Because
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And let me express this to you in the nicest way possible. You think that like if a girl sleeps with a guy, it's the same thing as if a guy sleeps with a girl. It's the same. That's what you think in your head. You're like,
I
it's
don't
equal.
think it's the same thing.
So
I
if a
think
guy
how you
sleeps with 10
communicate it can be extremely transparent to the
Yeah.
place where you can have an understanding.
Yeah.
A guy sleeping with a girl is very different from a girl sleeping with a guy.
Which
in
one's
general,
more?
yes.
Which one's more? Which one means more? Which one is more
Well, no one
They
can
mean
have sex
different.
with anyone unless the girl opens her legs. Period.
sure?
like-
Bill Cosby would definitely differ. But like,
There's always exceptions to every rule.
Oh my gosh,
But I
that's
do think
too
that
soon?
the girl has the power.
me too soon. All right. So look, here's the thing, right? The girl has the power, sure, but who do you think?
So
like
it's
if
a
a guy,
more intimate thing when a girl decides to sleep with you. It's definitely a more intimate situation
worth
than when
more.
a guy just, you know.
it's worth more.
Well,
So
because the guy understands that, so he's like, you emotionally like this person, so you
Right.
didn't just fuck. But in the
Right.
guy's mind,
and now
it's
you're
like-
not loyal to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the number one thing is like, and people like
That's
even
why
Drake
girls
is like,
forgive guys cheating more than guys.
yeah,
forgive
because
girls.
now you have to understand the fragility of the ego. Plus, if a guy sleeps with 10 girls or a girl sleeps with 10 guys, regardless, which one is it? The same thing Is it worse if the guy does it? Is it worse if the girl does it? Which one do you think?
Well, 10 guys over what? Like, it's like your lifetime?
It doesn't matter. Like, just if a girl's like, oh, I've slept with 10 guys.
Right.
Just said that. They're the same age, everything. And then a guy says, oh, I've slept with 10 girls.
It shouldn't be different, but it is.
Exactly.
And it's because.
I hate that it's different.
But
She doesn't want to
bothers
say yes
me.
because she
Because
wants to change that thought process.
I do,
But
because
there's
I
no
don't think it's
change.
fair.
It's not fair. Life isn't fair. We're different. And I'll explain it to you. It's called the dog shit theory. I'll express it to you.
Dog shit theory?
Dog shit theory. So listen. So let's say there was a piece of dog shit on the ground. And let's imagine that money is something that motivates you. Would you ever touch it? Dog shit just on the ground. Would you touch it?
No.
What about for $50?
I would touch dog shit for $50.
Would you put it in your mouth?
Hell no.
Why? It's $50. $100.
No, I wouldn't put dog shit.
$1,000.
Maybe.
Okay. $10,000.
Yeah, I'll put dog shit in my mouth, $10,000.
Exactly. So for $50, you were willing to touch it, but for $10,000, you would put it in your mouth. Because the penis, much like the finger, is an extremity. It's on the outside of our bodies. While the vagina,
putting in
much like the mouth, is a
to take
cavity.
it.
It's on the inside of our bodies. So physiologically, physically, and variably, they have different interests and
That's
values.
coming from a man who sees sex as a physical thing. For me, there's a spiritual element,
No,
and if I'm
but I
sharing
think
my
that he
soul
thinks
with
that
you,
too. That's
I
it.
mean, sex, we just had a whole conversation on
Yeah,
sex.
I
Sex
don't
is a
think he
physical
thinks
act. You want to make it a spiritual element. That's great, George. So sprinkle some sugar on the shit. On
But
the
as
dog shit,
far
just
as
sprinkle
us
some
being
sugar on
animals-
that dog
Sprinkles and
shit.
shit.
You know?
I
It doesn't
feel
doesn't
that.
change the act of why it happened. And on top of that, look, this is how men think. Now, is it wrong? Sure, maybe, but it's how we think, right? So what's the worst thing a rapper can ever do to another person? He never goes, oh, I shot you. Yeah, niggas shoot me. Niggas get shot in the hood every day, B. You be all right. But it's not, oh, I stabbed you, I punched you. No. What
I
do
fucked your
rappers say? The biggest diss of all
fucked your
time.
girl.
I fucked your bitch. That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. And everyone went crazy like, oh, Tupac's this is the best. Simply because he
been
just
inside her.
He slept with someone else's girl. What, Trey? Mr. Steal Your Girl. You know Trey Songz said that twice ever, and that's the nickname that sticks with him. Mr.
yeah,
Steal
he
Your
couldn't
Girl.
steal mine.
Yeah.
Trey, you didn't steal mine.
He did try to steal
Keep
George's.
sliding in the DMs. You ain't steal nothing.
She's dating Trey Songz right now. So listen.
Which, the lesbian one?
No, the lesbians. If we went through a list of the George girls, you'd be like, what?
Wow.
This would be a collection. It would be like an eclectic collection. It would be like going over to someone's house and they just have like a Beatles album and then a Tupac album.
Spice
and then they have
Girls.
Spice Girls. Yeah. They just have like a bunch of different,
I believe
Garth Brooks.
Carrie
And you'd be
Underwood.
like, well, what genre do you like? And they're like, oh, I listen to everything.
Beauty
This
comes
nigga
in
listens to
different
everything.
shapes and sizes
That's
and
me.
No,
forms.
with girls. He listens to everything.
No, but I
with
like
girls.
all. I don't have a type.
Can we
That's
share
not true.
spirit fingers for a moment?
Girl,
What do you mean
haven't
that's
seen
not
all
true?
my
That's not true.
What's the truth?
That is-
What is true? What is
They
her
all
type?
have. There's all a singular
You only
common
know two of my
thread.
ex-boyfriends.
What was the thread?
Catch the vibe,
What was the
spirit
thread?
fingers.
Purpose.
We just vibed.
Oh,
That's
purpose
magica.
is a commonality. You can't say you don't have a type when you
Physically.
like ambitious
Physically.
people. Yeah, but that's because that's different.
But
Look,
even their personalities are all over the board, is what he's saying.
their personality, like he likes.
I'm
There's
with
one
you on
girl
that,
who's
though.
like lazy, and then there's another girl who's ambitious, and then there's another girl who's colorblind. It's like really.
I connect with that.
She might be colorblind, but I see her true colors.
Oh, George. She was gay, bro. She was.
You may
she
not have
liked
seen
other
all the
women.
colors of her rainbow.
She liked other
She
women.
liked me
She
too.
likes women. She's engaged.
Maybe she connected with your
to a
feminine
woman.
side.
Maybe. Hey, 2 people from my middle school are watching. Yo, let them know about Yeshi, bro.
Yo, yeah, she used to beat you up. That's so real. But we're on this topic, and it's a really good topic to discuss, especially with both of you being in the business, around the business, knowing the business, and just in life, and as the female experts in the room who are experts on yourself.
We're also the only females.
Yeah, well, that's why we bring. But you know what? It's so
Thank you.
interesting.
Thank you.
But that's you know what? But the
You caught
concept
it
is
right.
but the concept is we always just ask like other guys about stuff. We never ask
Right.
just go straight.
And that's the
Right,
thing.
right.
That's the biggest
Sorry.
mistake that men make. They ask their guy friends for advice,
Right.
or they just believe the hype of their own ego. And what we're trying to establish is why
Or
we're
the perception
very-
of what the world gives it.
Phenomena
Exactly.
versus nomina. Exactly.
Which is why we're so thankful to have both of you here. We could get that real, that insight. minus our egos. We want to hear it from you. And there's a very deep topic today on top
I don't know
of
if
this
it's deep,
question.
but it's definitely a question that goes around a lot. Like,
Yeah.
it's only deep to us specifically,
It's
but
deep.
Wait,
it's
what's
like,
the question?
It's deep.
the question is,
It's a deep
How
one.
how to make this silly question deep?
no, it's not. It's we're talking monogamy.
It's
Okay?
a deep question.
Is monogamy possible? Should it be the only way to have a relationship? And is monogamy something that you seek? Because George made a really good point one time where he was like,
I make a lot of those.
these girls, as a guy, guys are going after these girls and like lying to them and hurting them. When there are a lot of girls who are about that life, you could just date and they would be fine with it.
Yeah, and I learned that when I came to Los Angeles. I was raised on the East Coast in a traditional family, and I was always viewing things through a monogamous lens. And I realized I had difficulty dating when I came out here because everything to me was monogamy, monogamy, monogamy. You come to a place like Los Angeles, and people are just hooking up, guys and girls. So it was eye-opening for me to see that there are women out there who simply just want to hook up. And I was trying to prescribe a relationship with
Because
them.
you associate relationship with monogamy.
With
I think
monogamy,
that there's different
yes.
kinds of
You
relationships
nailed
that
it.
could be monogamous, and that's the decision that you make with your partner.
And let's talk
It
about
is-
those, Toni. Give us some examples. Walk us through this because you preaching right now. You are preaching.
No, I just feel that, like she had said earlier, if you're with your best friend and it's a situation that you have an understanding that I am monogamous with you by choice, not because it's expected, demanded, and or perceived as the reality of a relationship. So if I choose to be in a relationship with you and we have a discussion, I want to be monogamous with you, then yes, I would expect monogamy. But that would be a choice. I also do agree and have had and or feel like that we are now in a world that's evolving, that there could be open relationships, but that's also a very, with health, with understanding, with the limitations, with the, what is that, when you have a word, like a safe word, like it's too much, being able to have that communication if you're
Porcupine.
not going to be.
So let me ask you
And
a
pineapple.
pivotal question.
Yeah, but what if you just like pineapple? It's like, you know, like
Like when you ever use the word porcupine.
Yeah, so I mean-
Yeah, that's true.
Tony's-
Armadillo.
there you go. That's a good one.
Yep.
Armadillo. Like you'd have to go
great.
out of your way
To say it.
to say it. Like
Yeah.
I've really maybe said
Armadillo.
armadillo.
I don't think I've ever said it except for just now.
Mine is grapefruit.
No, but
No.
that's not.
George,
You're missing the whole point.
But back to my question. Okay, that didn't happen. So you mentioned communication, Toni.
That's it.
Sometimes people don't get to the communication early on enough, right? So early on, they don't establish the communication. Is this monogamy or not? So what should the assumption be as a man? Should I assume when a
there
lady's
should never
dating
be
me?
an assumption.
It's a conversation.
It's a conversation.
It's always a
It's
conversation.
a conversation. And you said something about evolving
Right.
a relationship. It's interesting because a lot of anthropologists and sociologists would say that it's de-evolving because technically we're not meant to be monogamous.
Right.
And we've created that. It's very new in
You're
the
associating
span
relationship
of,
with monogamy.
Exactly. The span of human history, being monogamous in a relationship
talking about this
is an
yesterday.
extremely new concept. It's extremely new. It's past 500 to 1,000 years old as opposed to the human race being around something like 300,000 years
Deep.
cumulatively.
It's deep.
So it's very new, and it's also very new part of specifically Western cultures as they grow and the impact and globalization happens. And they know this because when they find tribes in Africa, Amazon, parts of India, just remote places, Tibet, the tribes are usually not monogamous in the traditional sense. They may partner up. However, sexually, the women and the men engage in sexual acts
For
with the-
pleasure. For mating, it's a different choice.
Actually,
For
it's
pleasure.
actually for both.
Yeah.
And that's the interesting thing. It's actually not just for pleasure. It's actually for mating and for pleasure. And there's a specific instance where when the French came to the United States at the time, just the Americas, and obviously they felt that they were superior to these natives that were here. The natives didn't even have a concept of something like colonization, which is why they were so open. Why would they think that someone would do these horrific, horrendous things to them? They mocked them by saying things like, well, you share your women. And they weren't even, some of these natives didn't even have words for things like rape because it just wasn't part of their culture. and cultural systems. It just didn't happen. And they were like, well, you share your women. And the tribes and the chief said something to the effect of, we don't understand why you possess your women. And the French historian said, well, if you have sex with a woman and she has children and she's had sex with multiple men, how do you know which child to love? And the chief said something that was so profound, said, that's because you white people only love your child. We love our children. And we don't differentiate. We all love all the children that are in the community because we don't know who specifically their genetic father is. But so we love all the children.
Wow.
And so we love that community. And it's just something very interesting to think of.
We were talking yesterday about how the same sort of thing thousands of years ago, men were much more flamboyant, and it was very culturally, men were colorful, and men were, maybe that's where you're from, George. And
Men wore makeup and heels.
yeah, and the
No,
women
I don't do all that. I don't do all that.
Listen, I'm not saying George is transitioning. Okay,
Why would you
George,
point that
you're
out?
evolving.
Can I not be in touch with my emotional side
There would
and
be
not
nothing
wear a
wrong with it
dress?
if you were, but you're not.
I'm
But
just
you are.
not.
He's
I
a
wanna
very
dress you
sensitive
up.
person.
No, I like
As
my
a woman?
suits and ties.
With like
A boa?
French Renaissance era.
What are you doing to me? Why are you doing this?
What are those things? Ruffles? What are
No,
the
but
ruffles?
it's actually you're more in tune with your soul, and I think every
love
man
it.
actually has a lot of estrogen and flamboyant in them. But again, from a child, we are taught that men are masculine, men are strong, men are providers, rather than being yourself as a human being. We are actually the only species that the men are muted in their color and their flamboyancy and expected to be that way. All other animals and all the different species, the peacocks are colorful, the roosters are colorful, the chameleons are the colorful ones, and then the girls are muted. So I think it's actually natural in our makeup for that to be more like you than him.
Yeah, like
it's
I'm
just
more
not
like
how
a
it
chameleon. He's more like a basic lizard, and he's hating right now.
I'm not hating.
No, you know
I'm
what?
not
Italians
hating.
have a name for their mistress, and it's a guma.
Yeah.
In the
Guma.
Italian
Guma.
cult,
A guma?
it's like a natural thing.
Is
You
that
turn the cheek and you
derogatory?
set the table.
No.
you
Yes,
just-
but no.
It is because
It's
of
turned
who
into
you
whore
are.
now, but
right?
not
But like
originally.
even when I was young, you just knew that your husband had a guma.
Who knew
Guma.
you were married, by the way? And that's a big difference.
But they know their role. That's the difference.
The
is that
guma
Gumas
don't.
know
Yeah.
their
The
role.
guma don't tell the wife her cooking tastes bad.
Side
No.
chick.
Does
Side
the Guma
chick.
sit at the dinner table?
Hell
No,
Okay,
not
yeah.
allowed. For her, Valentine's Day is
she's
February
out.
15th. It's
Right.
February 15th. Every
The
year,
family and the
President's
wife,
Day is
Everything's on sale.
Valentine's Day. Yeah.
I ain't
That's
gonna lie, I did that once. I went to CVS. I bought the 75% off.
I love the
Once.
day after Valentine's Day. or
I
after
think
Halloween.
Valentine's Day is so inexpensive for me because I just don't. So here's the thing, right? It's just inexpensive. Like I don't even need the sale. Sometimes I buy shit on sale for Valentine's Day because I really like the little heart candy stuff.
Yeah.
I eat those all the time.
I hate
buy 'em for
those.
me.
I don't like the flavor of those.
like-
Blah. It's like chalk. Blah.
That's hating. That's hating. Okay, who's a
Blah.
basic lizard now? Okay, you even look like a lizard.
I'm a chameleon who enjoys sour gummy worms.
But the concept
Drops
of
the
monogamy,
mic.
would both of you prefer to be in monogamous relationships? Would that be the only way you would understand a relationship?
It's hard for me to have this conversation because my parents split up right when I was born, and my dad had many wives, different times. So I never really saw the dad-mom
Dynamic.
ever. My mom never remarried. So I always just saw mom independent, working hard, dad doing his thing. They're both musicians. So for me, I think it's just understanding who you're with and what you're willing to put up with. You have someone like Bob Marley and Rita, and she put up with a lot, but she knew who she was with and
That's
what
the thing,
his
if you make the choice to be with
his
somebody, you can't be
value-
like, you're a hoe.
Yeah.
I'm going to be with you and then be surprised when they're a hoe.
Right.
Do you
But
as-
she was
That's
his
a great
number
point, though.
one.
So-
Like he called her and said, "I need these girls out my dressing room now." She would come down and clear the room. When he passed away, he left everything to her.
So you
That's real.
as
And she-
expert females don't see that as a weakness for a woman to allow her husband or partner to have other partners?
I think it depends.
No. I see it as a weakness because it depends on the relationship. If this woman is like, I know my man and I know our home life and I know our relationship and we've had this, again, conversation about who we are as partners,
y'all.
then
Communication.
that's who they are. Every relationship is different. Everybody is different. Let them live their best relationship. And if I choose to be with somebody, I have to choose to be with them. It's like if you choose to be with somebody that after they cheated on you, stop fucking bringing it up. Sorry, are you allowed to cuss? But you can't bring it up anymore. If you say you forgive, then you forgive and you move on.
But what if
you
it
can't
still
choose.
hurts?
Of course, that's different.
That's
Hey,
the kind
it
of
still
person
hurts
you
me.
are, though. You have to know who
Right.
you are and what you want. Like, I would prefer to be with someone who is only with me. That's
Right.
what I would prefer. I would not.
That would
like
be
to-
my choice.
Yeah, but if
Have you ever cheated?
Have I ever cheated? Yeah, I have. But that
So
was
what happened to that preference at that time when that happened?
was in high school, so I feel like
Does that count? High
Yes.
school?
it does count. It
Yes.
definitely counts. He cheated on me too. Like,
High
we
You
got
know
to
how
do
Yeah,
you know
high
it counts?
school.
Because you used to get beat up in high school by Yeshi. So it counts.
But I also felt like even through that experience, I realized that how important communication is because we didn't have that at all. It was just like,
Yeah.
it's my boyfriend. He got me
The
a
title rather than a
It was
conversation.
a complete title. Like, I have a boyfriend, I'm booed up, you know?
Right.
Instead of now where I'm like, I just want to be happy and I just want a friend, a best friend, a partner that no matter what happens,
Yo,
Has your back.
You said friend in a slow roll. Yeah, I just want
But
to
you say he's
I
just
want
a
to
friend.
Right.
that story you're gonna say.
that too. I just want it
Yo.
all.
Do you prefer? Do you prefer?
I want it all.
Expert guest. Do you prefer for your partner to just desire you and only you? Is that a preference?
Of
Every
course.
woman, that's
What?
a preference.
Come on.
Women want to be wanted, men need to be needed, period.
Yes, I want to be his everything.
That's
but
a good way to put that. I like that a lot.
But
Women
I will
want to
say,
be
like,
wanted.
Men need to be needed.
Need to be
That's
needed.
the basic
But
foundation.
what I
of
will
most
say
arguments,
is
most-
my father passed away last year and he was unmarried and I was one of the only ones there.
God bless you, sis.
And thank you.
Our condolences. That's a tattoo. You have a lot of
Let's
tats.
see
It's
that
my
tat.
dad. It's my dad.
Hands-
But
Some
he
fellow.
looked like he was.
Yo.
Yeah.
He
Yo,
had
he
girls
knew
in the
what he-
dressing
he
room.
looked like he
yeah.
knew what he was doing. Like I saw it, I was like, okay.
And my dad loved fashion. He
The
had
the
jewelry. He
facial
had
hair.
gator shoes. My
Yeah.
dad was
But when, at the funeral, you feel like you were one of the only people there.
out of family members
Yeah.
and out of loved ones, I was pretty much. It was
Crazy.
me, my two other half brothers who barely knew him, and my mom came because she wanted to be there for me.
And who were the other people there?
All his friends, just friends from his life, his job.
Was it a lot
his
of people
community.
though?
It was actually turned out to be more than I thought.
Yeah, then you know what?
But
Fuck them other hoes. Like,
But
I'm not
what I'm
even-
going to say is the last conversations that we had really made me realize what's important. You know, I found a box full of like gold rings and bracelets and I was like, Dad, can I take some of this stuff? You know, and he was like, I can't even use my hands. Like, take whatever you want. And I was like, damn. So at the end, do you want to have like that one person that will fucking take care of you, bathe you, change you, dress you, be there for you? Or do you want to have all the fucking shit that we all crave? You know what I mean? So
It happens at the end a lot. It just happens too late.
yeah.
Yeah, but really, here's my thing with that, right? Like, and I understand, I appreciate everything you said. But to me, it's like if you with someone your same age, then that bitch going through the same shit. She can't help you. That's why you got to marry young, George. That's why you got to get old, divorce.
But it
and
could
trade
happen
up.
at
What kind of
any time.
advice are you giving me for my life?
It can happen
Twan?
at any time, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. So
Just
like,
keeping your eyes open and
No,
listening.
actually,
To
my
me-
buddy Ron G just brought that up too. He was like, he went to hospital to visit somebody, and like there was this guy there that was like older and sick and by himself, and he was like feeding himself soup and like was like hitting on the nurse, and he was like, "Bruh, I just realized." And then
People
he
think
got
it's cool to be
engaged.
single, but in actuality, we're all attracted to other people's connections. We're attracted to group pictures. We're attracted to relationships. People end up making it bigger and have more fans when they have some sort of connection. Most of these people have like a ride or die, whether it's sexually or not,
Ellen-
by them sides.
You know where I've
Ellen's
struggled?
kind of over her girl, and she's like brought that up very like a lot recently.
Ellen
like,
and
she's
I
over.
Sliding in her
She's
DMs,
she's
George.
getting ready, George.
It's cheaper to keep her. It's like she's on that level right now.
You know what I struggle with sometimes?
It's interesting.
It's hard to get the whole package in one person. So sometimes I meet someone where I have this really strong friendship bond, and the sexual attraction just isn't there, but that would be my ideal partner to grow old with. It's so hard to get it all in
Bro,
one.
stop looking at me when you say this kind of stuff, George. I'm not.
I'm just saying.
Sex is just not
if
there.
you're ready,
but
I'm
you're
ready.
happy.
See what I mean? What's wrong with George? Like, I just can't. Ruffle shirt, bro. Here's the thing about monogamy is a concept, right? And I understand being in a relationship. I think most importantly, and correct me if I'm wrong, girls don't like feeling stupid. And there's a lot of guys out there that go out.
Guys don't like feeling stupid either.
Yeah, well, guys never, like, at all. But girls specifically, like with Tiger Woods, for example, right? There's no way, in my opinion, she didn't know. But what she didn't like is when everybody in the news and every human being knew, and now she has to make an example.
Ego.
Because
Is
it's
that
like
what
now.
That's the
brought
same
out
thing
the
with the
golf
Gumans.
club?
You can't bring
because
them
it's like,
around.
yo, why did you do this?
I got this
You
golf
had
club.
$1 billion. You could have had a dude who all his job was just to answer the phone. Like, you didn't have to let
The lack
everyone.
of
and
respect.
you got caught. Like, you were out just being with girls in public.
He was being reckless.
Exactly. And so
And
I think
that's
girls
not respectful.
hate that a lot. And with guys, we just hate anything. Like, at that point, we hate everything, because a lot of girls don't realize you guys become our weakness. And so anything that shows that crack, we don't want to deal with at all. We don't want to deal with it.
That's interesting, but that's true.
So we need you to just stay in the house. Just stay, close up. You know what I'm saying? You know what? We're Muslim now. We jihad now. I need you to cover this. I need you to cover this up. You know what? Your eyes, I need you to keep your eyes shut.
Disclaimer,
No, you
what
have
this
pretty
man
eyes.
says does not speak on the opinions of this production.
Yo, well, you have two pretty eyes. We're not opening our eyes no more. Like, we really feel like that sometimes. Like, I see a lot of guys who feel that way.
So what do you have to say to us, or no, them, those guys who feel that way? What do you have to say to that thought?
Well, that's why there's somebody for everybody. I feel
Yeah.
like there's a girl out there that heard that and was like, I'm that girl. I'll stay in the house. I'll cook. I'll have your babies. I'll raise your family. Whatever you want.
I also want you to be rich and pay for everything. But, and
then-
understand
but
I'm
then
emotionally
you-
unavailable, and I
Okay,
like my
well,
space.
That's a whole other can of worms.
Yo, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna find you. And you got to be tall.
See, you just what?
Yeah. No, I was just telling George because he thought we have another 10 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, no, I just feel like there's somebody for everybody. There's different kinds of people for different kinds of expectations. You will find the people that will do those things. They might not be tall.
Nah, she gotta be tall. What? My kid's not supposed to play varsity basketball because you're short, bitch? No,
Yeah,
I need.
well-
I'm a need. At least you gotta have
You
to have
better
tall
go
grandparents.
and adopt some tall children.
Nah, see, here's the thing.
I'm 6'4", so I
Love
don't
your
know
thing
what
is
he's
you
talking
can't
about.
pull-
When you choose to be with somebody, you're choosing to be with them, but you also have to have the understanding, at least I want in my partnership, is to be willing to grow. Not change, but grow.
See,
And so bringing out the best
They
in each
sound the
other,
same to
they're
me.
not the same.
Change
they're
and
the
grow.
same.
What's-
No, it's not.
What's
It
the
sounds
difference?
nice. It
What's the
sounds
difference
nice.
between
because
growth
girls try
and
to change
change?
you. Girls try to change you. Girls try to change
Guys
you.
try
bro.
to change you too.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to change nobody.
No,
I
but a
feel
lot of
like-
guys do.
You know
a
what
lot
I
of
feel
guys
like? I don't
do.
know about men. I think that
Lot.
could be the term, but would you say it's more of men trying to control than change?
Ooh,
No,
that's
it's a
good
little
answer.
bit of
Are
both.
men a little
It's a
more
little bit of
obsessed?
both. I mean, you have guys that are attracted to the club rats. You're the guys that are attracted to the bottle girls. They want this look and everything. And then when they're with you, why are you dressing like that?
You end up resenting someone for the same reason you
But
were
you were
attracted to them in
Yeah.
the first
He
place.
actually, George
Then
actually
your
brings
boy
that up
walks
to
in the room
people
and your
who-
girl's wearing exactly what you
Talk
love
to
her
me
in.
all the
And
time.
then it's like,
Right.
you trying to fuck my friend?
That's real though.
It's real.
It's crazy.
George always has to explain that.
It's because we have this innate habit to look at our partners as our possessions.
yeah.
That's
So we're
man
attracted
thing.
to you,
That is a man thing.
but
And
now
look,
that
that's how
you're a
men
partner, you're a
look at
possession.
everything.
yeah.
And I've had my exes looked at me as a possession. I was like this.
Because they were
Because
manly.
they were.
I was their Arabian princess or something. I don't know. But that's
Why do
how
you
I
hate
felt.
when we do it to you, but you love to do it to
I
yourself?
felt like I was a possession at times, and I was being controlled. I actually got punched in the face because
I think
someone
there's
wrote
something
me a
bigger
note.
there that you like to be controlled.
No, I don't like it.
You do like it.
You do.
I think
It
you
doesn't
get.
You know what?
I think you
Here's
get
the thing. Hold on.
validation off of somebody bringing you down and then bringing you back
No,
up.
can I say something? Knowing George,
your
he
show.
does not like it. He does not
I'd be
like it. In
holding
fact,
silent grudges,
I'll tell you
bro.
something real. He's passive aggressive. He's a passive aggressive alpha. Okay,
Yeah,
George is a passive
that's what I
aggressive
am.
alpha. Now, while I'm just outright like, this is how it is.
I'm
this
just
is how it's
happy
gonna
he
be.
acknowledged me as an alpha finally.
I mean,
Roar.
in the
After 3 words
Okay.
in.
yeah.
I do sound like Ross. I've gotten that I sound like Ross, and I've also gotten that I sound like Ross and Barack Obama mixed.
If they had a baby.
No one's ever said that. So listen, that is what he wants to be. Because don't.
I feel like Obama was my dad in a past life. The whole Hussein thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right, George.
can't.
All right, George.
I can't.
Don't let him do this. Okay. Don't let him do this. So when it comes to monogamy.
Oh wow, I forgot what we were talking about.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to monogamy, when a guy, do you feel like guys don't want to be monogamous, but girls do want to be monogamous?
No, I think guys actually are more territorial in that sense, in the sexual sense. They don't want to be with their bodies, but they want you to be naturally. It's naturally their go-to of, I'm just fucking. It's just fucking for me. But if the girl messes around, they want the girl to be monogamous, but they don't understand because it's not the way of their train of thought naturally to be monogamous.
Toni, have you ever had the thought, I want to see other people, but I want this guy to be monogamous to me?
No. I've been attracted to other people. I've been intrigued and allured by other people. But when I've chosen to be in relationships, I've wanted to be that person's partner.
And just to clarify, you're from the East Coast, right?
Correct.
You think it's different? It's different?
I think it's the East Coast thing, yo.
I mean,
Nobody
people
is from
back-
LA.
People
a lot of people from LA.
People in the East Coast, I felt,
hidden.
even friends.
And they're
more
monogamous.
loyal.
They're Mexican
More
and they're really good
loyalty,
people,
so-
actually. And they-
That's what I'm saying.
they
They're
work hard.
monogamous.
Yeah. You know,
It's people that come to LA. They come for individual reasons, and so they're very isolated, and they're sharking through trying to find their place, and so they're most likely going to cross the lines that they may not cross when they're at their culture or in their family home or where they're from, because they want validation, they want to belong, and they're trying to find a unit. We all want a connection and purpose.
It's so much more than geography, y'all, and you heard it from her. That was very eloquently spoken.
Yeah, it was profound.
That was some
good.
psychoanalysis.
Strong.
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 You know, maybe I just don't want or shouldn't be in a relationship.
No.
Because I just don't need, like you said, you need to be needed. I don't want to be needed.
I didn't say I need to be
No,
needed.
but no, you said like men need to be needed.
You do want to
I
be
literally
needed.
just don't want to be
You
needed.
just don't want to answer the phone. You want to be
I don't want to
needed.
be needed. Like,
Okay.
don't need me.
Tehran,
Don't need me for something.
He
I will be
is-
there every now and then when I want to be. But overall, don't be like, hey, no.
If that's the case, then why are you possessive over me in this friendship?
When have I? Are you talking about Peter Frank?
I'm talking about Peter Frank.
Okay, let me explain. Let me explain what George is referring to. George was dating some guy. And when I say that, I mean that in the realest possible terms. George didn't know he was dating some guy, but every time this guy used to give me the dirtiest looks when I would come pick up George. The guy would like try to make up excuses to sleep over at George's place. Like, oh, I'm so tired. It's so far. It's like you
George.
live 2 miles away.
No,
and he
bro.
was super, like
Look.
he would like write George messages of hatred about me.
Now let me just do a reenactment. He's leaving my place.
Yo.
Tehran's walking back over.
He's walking downstairs.
Because I'll be flipping them. And then Tehran...
George has a
Tehran
problem.
walks up. He's like, hey, what's up, George? And Hobie did like this to Tehran.
Like looked at me, like looked me up and down like I was the other girl all the way. And so I was just like, hey, George, so me and you, we going out tonight, right? Like
got
I was so
possessive.
extra.
He got
Dig the knife
possessive.
in.
Yeah, because that's what I do.
And what did
Yes.
the dude do?
He felt some type of way.
He
didn't
felt
talk
some
to
type
me.
of way.
He
He
didn't
didn't
talk to
break
me.
up. George-
Possession. That's
Yeah,
a
we
controlling
actually
person.
Broke up?
Well, I don't want to say broke up. I wasn't actually dating the guy. Tehran's
No,
saying I
but
was
that's a
dating him.
relationship. And so you broke up with that relationship. That relationship was an unhealthy relationship, and that person is probably even worse if they're fucking somebody.
Ooh.
Yo, that's real though.
But I wasn't dating a
It doesn't.
You
but
were dating- you
when
were-
you are in
you
a
were.
friendship,
You were friend
you are
dating.
That is a relationship. I'm
That
in a
happens.
relationship with Vali. Like I have obligations to be truthful to her because we are honest with each other and we have that conversation.
And you would be upset.
So-
Would you be upset if she
There you
started
go.
saying other friends?
There
like
you go.
when she hangs out with other friends and you're just free, do you ever
Yeah,
feel some
and the
type of way?
topic is monogamy. Does monogamy play a role in
friendship?
friendships?
No, because we have communication. Again, it comes back to I trust her, and I wouldn't be her best friend if I thought she was hanging out with jealous people. Because that's not what I'm attracted to. I'm
comfortable with our
comfortable
friendship.
with me,
Yeah.
myself, and I'm comfortable with her and her choices.
Yeah.
But you know what I don't like? If you are my friend,
Why can't you
hold
be
up.
like that in a relationship?
I need to get this off my chest.
Different,
It shouldn't
is
be
what I'm
you-
different.
saying.
if
Sex
you
is
were-
the only thing that you're adding to. Like if
But that complicates a lot. But what I'm saying is, like, let's say I'm your friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
The same way you were saying, and we were telling Rachel May in the dating situation, if she cheated with someone he knew,
She didn't cheat.
Here's-
They broke up.
She cheated.
she
didn't cheat.
She no,
Ross
she
and
didn't cheat.
Rachel
You're right.
effect, she
They
cheated.
broke up.
They
So-
were on a break.
No. Listen.
Oh, snap.
No. What were you gonna say? Because we gotta discuss that.
So what I was gonna say is, I feel some type of way if you're my friend, like Tehran, for example. We go out, I introduce him to Keith. If Tehran and Keith start hanging out
yeah, I think
and
that's
not
disrespectful.
inviting me, that's disrespectful. Don't be texting Keith. Don't be calling.
But that's
Keith
why
is
she's
my
saying
friend,
it's
not your friend.
communication.
No,
Like,
but you don't even need to go
but you
there.
should know
okay,
that.
wait. If I did introduce, hold on. If I introduced you to somebody and then that person called you, the thing is, the difference with her is she would be like, "Yo, Tehran called me. We're gonna go do something." If he didn't tell me that he called her,
That's a
I'd be
problem.
like, "Yo, T," like I would feel some type of way about it. But then
You
I would
should.
adjust. Then I would adjust my relationship accordingly.
See, and when it comes to like
Right.
in the actual relationship, here's the thing.
Drop the mic.
I think because of the way guys' egos work, that girls should be.
It's a territorial thing.
It is, and girls should at least know. I'm not saying they have to do
Be
something
aware
about it,
of
but
it.
you be aware.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
the possible consequence. It's like in Rachel's situation. I don't know if it was someone her boyfriend knew or didn't.
Sounds
but-
like he knew him.
But that makes
Or
a
had a,
huge
like a-
difference. First of all, because if it's someone, and I like, if I'm in contact with this person or I see this person, and like I said, we have a lot of frenemies. People, we're all in the same field or the same circle and sphere, but we say what's up, but we're not actual friends.
Yeah.
Okay, there's an underlying competition, especially
Layers.
with a lot of men, right? If that's the situation, what she did was cheat. She cheated on what you said was that connection, because she was disloyal to that. Had she slept with a stranger in Italy, that's a little different. Someone she might not have never seen again. I understand. We can have a conversation. I can, at least the best way to forgive is to forget and pretend that never
And that
happened.
person will never be in your face, so
Exactly.
you're easily to forget.
But
As I
every
said, it
time,
depends on who it was.
you know, Andre walks by and he gives you that little smirk, you will want to literally murder
your
him.
But
mind.
see, my thing is, a best friendship, in my opinion,
George, I've seen other people.
should be, well, I've learned from my mistakes, should be monogamous. Because when I'm at that wedding, I got one best man. You know what I'm saying? When the
You
bride's at
remember
a
that.
wedding,
You the one who
she
go
gotta
out with
make-
Keith and go out
I
with
stopped doing
with-
it, Tehran.
with Josh. And
I
like, you're
stopped
out.
doing
Yo,
it.
he'll be going
I
out.
don't do that no more.
And then on his Instagram story, be posting all these things.
I
like,
don't do that no
"Woo!"
more. I post Tehran now.
Do you think
He's
that
the only
maybe
guy on my page.
Rachel's guy
And my dog,
or her
Chuck.
boyfriend that doesn't want to get back together with her is just simply communicating in not the right language?
No.
Because it's
No.
not that
No,
she slept
here's
with
the
someone
thing.
else, or is it
Oh,
that like
this is
She
good.
slept with
can't
someone
move
else.
past
No,
This
she's.
is
I
good.
cannot move past that
You-
she slept with someone
a
else.
dick being inside of you.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's
Yeah.
a conversation.
100%.
And
There's
that's
no
a thing
conversation.
for her to
You're-
understand a little bit differently, rather than
different.
why does we were on a
Yeah.
break or we're breaking
Well,
up.
maybe
so
he
why-
doesn't want to be with her at all, and he's
No.
using this as an
We wouldn't
excuse.
use that as an excuse. We would just keep smashing, but not. He wouldn't be upset
Right.
if
Yeah.
he didn't want to be with
so
her.
That's,
It's
but that's
hurting
her
him.
Yeah.
the advice I would give to her is understanding why he's saying what he's saying,
'Cause-
rather than being mad at or reacting and not understanding what he's
Well,
saying.
well, the thing is, it's frustrating for her because she wants to make it happen again. But
You gotta
maybe
give it
what,
time.
maybe what Rachel, what you need to see is that
gotta give it
man's
time.
ego is crushed, and
Right.
when you crush a man's
So
ego,
understand that. Be like, yo, I understand that you are feeling this way, and
You
I'm
know?
gonna try to be in your shoes in your head, and that shit
What-
would suck.
what-
So
what-
I'm gonna give it time.
I see.
Time is good.
Time is
Time is good, but what
Yeah,
y'all
always
need to
come back.
understand, from a man's side of thing, when your partner gets with someone else, that's like the root canal of, you ever feel the pain from a root canal?
of
That's a
course.
root canal of dating. That just goes straight into a nerve and strikes us. And it's like, and we should be able to move past it.
No,
we should.
No, because trust is like a mirror. Once you break it, sure, you can glue it back together, but you'll always see the cracks. You'll never feel the same. And it's just like any, like the laws of physics. When objects are moving, right, they'll keep going until acted on by inertia and a force that stops them. Now they're diverging from each other. And even though it's 1% now, it'll grow over time. Next thing you know, 25 years later, it's like,
Yeah, and you
Good-
gotta,
good
you gotta
point.
listen to that.
Good
You gotta
point.
listen. Like, this is a reason why this is happening. I understand men a little bit differently. Next time that I break up with somebody that I'm in love with and I want to make it work,
I won't do
I'm gonna
that.
give this shit time because
To
I
figure it out.
understand
So-
now how men think.
So last thing here. Time
Your
heals.
battery is dying.
It's always dying. So time heals.
right.
Is there a certain amount of time?
No, time adjusts the priority of the thought process of that person, that thing affecting you in your everyday
Thanks
life.
for the psychoanalysis.
That's very
Thanks for the ad
big
libs.
difference.
Return. So time heals, right? Time heals. Is there a certain amount of
healing.
time that time changes perspective,
shifts, right.
shifts perspective? Is there a certain amount of, speaking of time, is there a certain amount of time that is or isn't acceptable after you break up that they get with another person?
this is a great conversation for a different topic. We'll have to bring this up because it's a great conversation.
Thanks, Bijan.
Real quick,
Okay.
is monogamy possible in the entertainment business?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It is.
Absolutely.
Is it extremely difficult?
Yes.
Yeah.
And let's have a conversation about that. Thank you so much for being here. Where can people find you if you want to be found? And what projects do you have coming up?
I have a project coming out. It's called Magica. It's a collection of 6 songs coming out in 3 to 5 weeks. My name is Vali, Vali, at Vali, Instagram, Twitter. Going to be on SoundCloud, Apple, Amazon, everything.
That's what's up. Tony, do you want to be found?
Nope.
Very simple. And you can find me, of course, at I Am Tehran, literally at I Am Tehran, because I am Tehran all across the social atmosphere. That's Facebook, Instagram, and the tweet. And I'm alongside
GK Supreme, that's at Mr. George Corey. Tehran, spell my last name.
KHOURI. You already know what it is. Please email us all your questions at.
imperfectgshow@gmail.com. And thank you for your question, Rachel.
That's right. And we
Love
are
you, Rachel.
Imperfect
Love you, Rachel.
gentlemen.
Remember, nobody's perfect. But
But
us.
us.
We'll see you guys next week.